പക്ഷെ എനിക്കിന്ന് പറയാനുള്ളത് തോൽവിയുടെ കഥയാണ്. യുവർ ഹോബി കനോട്ട് ബി യുവർ പ്രൊഫഷൻ. യുവർ പാഷൻ ഷുഡ് ബി യുവർ പ്രൊഫഷൻ. ഡ്രീം, ഡ്രീം, ഡ്രീം. Assalamu alaikum. If any point of time, if you have heard someone successful saying that, I never thought that I would have achieved this. Believe me, that's the biggest lie. You have to dream before your dreams can come true. Not my words though, but from Honorable former President of India, Dr. A.P.J. Abdul Kalam. നമ്മുടെ സ്വന്തം സ്റ്റോറി പറയാൻ മലയാളം അല്ലെങ്കിൽ മാതൃഭാഷയാണ് ഏറ്റവും അനുയോജ്യം അല്ലേ? But considering the crowd here, the mixed crowd here, I would like to continue in English. Let me walk you through to the early 1980s, where the dreams were born way before I was born. This is not a story about the dream about me, but about my mom. When she first came to UAE, she was fascinated by seeing all the women in all sectors, from airport to hospitals to flying flights, from aeronautical engineers. She was seeing women in corporates. She was like, if ever I have a daughter, I'm definitely gonna make her self-sustained. That's where the dream was born, and in couple of years, I was born in the little township Parayangadi in Kannur district. With her dreams of making me a successful woman, she put me in one of the best schools in Kannur district, St. Teresa's. I wasn't that top in the school because usually my day starts as early as 5:30, catching the bus at 6:45, coming back home tired at 6:45. But I was very good in studies, as how I was good in my extracurricular activities. But as Naila mentioned in her story, I always had this thirst, this quest to win. I always had this passion to be a winner, a successful person. That's how in one fine morning, it got more triggered. When in the school assembly, I saw one of my batchmate got felicitated with this big golden rolling trophy. And my friend whispered to me, "Do you know how she got that? It's for a pickle making competition." Oops. Growing up seeing my grandma make the best pickle in town, I was like, see, next year I'm gonna grab it. That's when my dream for cooking started. So I was preparing, and the very next year, I rushed to the teacher who was coordinating all this, and I was like, "Can you put me in that pickle making competition?" She was like, "By the way, it's not pickle making, it's fruit preservation, and we are not looking for another participant." But this cliche, that one door closes, the other 10 opens, right? In all the success stories, and in mine also is not quite different. The next day, the teacher came to me. She asked me like, "Do you want to participate in economic and nutritious food items?" I was like, "Yes." I was not even knowing what it is. Then I went back home. I called my mom and my grandma. I told there is a slight change in plan. Instead of teaching me to make pickle, you have to teach me cooking. But then cooking wasn't Chinese for me. I was helping my parents in kitchen. I was doing the kitchen course, cutting, demonstrating cookery shows back there. So I was interested for it, and with my teacher's training, not that I won the first place, but I also won the record of making 64 items in 3 hours. Wow, I cannot do that now. It's only because the thirst in me to be successful that drove me to that point. Then the picture got changed. I was all over in the newspaper with food fest, with press conferences, magazine cover, and the boring bus ride, when people just sit and look outside and they see that magazines of my faces hanging in the shop, they will look and they will like, "Are you that kid in the picture?" I'm like, "Yes," and I start bragging. I bragged and bragged until one day when one of a neighbor, who was also my mom's classmate, who was also a teacher, asked my mom like, "Are you planning to make Jumana cook the entire life just like you?" My bold mom was like, "Why not, if she's good in that?" But I couldn't take it. Back then, I know most of you can relate. For Indians, there were only 2 options to prove yourself. Either become a doctor or become an engineer. With 1 drop of blood, you will not believe I'll faint here. So doctor was never an option for me. So what? That's where my second dream was born. I have to become an engineer. 2009 was a fantabulous year for me. I got graduated as an engineer. I got married to an engineer. Double bonanza. And then I came to UAE with all these hypes and hopes and fulfilling my mom's dream of working in a corporate. It wasn't easy to find a job. That's when my loving husband supportive husband. He helped me start the Facebook page. I started doing little shows, pictures, recipes, and but it wasn't giving that satisfaction to me. No, this is not what my mom would be proud about. That was resonating in my mind back. And then the very next year, I got opportunity as a consultant. I started working and everything changed out like a business as usual for me. It went with the first kid and then suddenly, until I got this opportunity to start the restaurant. So I heard a handful of success stories here. But where I failed in my restaurant business. In a very hard way, I learned that your hobby cannot be your profession. Your passion should be your profession. I've heard, I was surprised to hear one of the person saying that cooking is a stress buster for her. The same thing was for me. So when I get stressed, I go cook, I eat myself, whatever I like. But then when it became a profession for me and this business was never a passion for me, I utterly failed. But this thought, what would people say? What would others think? How would they take it? Will they not follow my recipes anymore? This was like behind my head. At least for 6 months, I was overthinking about it. Until one day, I got this courage. Alhamdulillah, tabarakallah. I told no, this is not going to work for me. I'm going to stop the business. But my dear friends, stopping a business is as difficult or more difficult than starting a business. So we had to plan for it. It was a 1.5 year journey, I guess. That's when I thought I need a restart, a reboot button in my life, and I joined for my master's in blockchain technology. That's when the real celebrity chef Jumana was born. I started marketing for my page. I started doing recipes. I started conceptualizing shows. That's when what you saw in the AV, my little girl Jahan, the Jahan's Kitchen was born and was accepted by one of the major Malayalam channels also. But then it wasn't a good ride. I was having the most darkest ride or days back then. And then I entered as a blockchain business consultant, from there to cybersecurity lead, from there to cybersecurity strategy manager, and now manage a cybersecurity program, alhamdulillah. But then, considering those black, dark days, if I close my eyes now, I sit back and think that was the best time how I felt, how my mom would have felt when I succeeded. I was super proud like a mom, because my little one, Jahan, made me proud with her presenting herself as in the Sharjah Children's International Fest for 10 continuous days at her 5 year, like when she was 5 years old. That was when my little one went viral in my university for saying Bitcoin is a digital currency. He was a toddler back then. So as a mom, that was the best year in my life, which I never recognized till now when I was sitting and writing the story for her story. So I would like to request all of you to just close your eyes for 5 minutes, 5 seconds. Think of that moment you are living now, which you have been dreaming sometime, like 5-10 years before. If not, my dear friend, the hurdles of life have just not given you the opportunity to say thank you to the moment you are living in. So I cannot conclude without thanking my mom, my husband, my family, my in-laws, my dad, my brother, who was always my pillar and support. And of course, by not reminding you all what we have learned in our little classes. Again, the words of Dr. A.P.J. Abdul Kalam. Dream, dream, dream. Dream transforms into thought, and thoughts results in actions. Thank you.